Have you ever experienced this? It's the middle of the night. Everything's quiet. You're deep in sleep. And then, your bladder wakes you up. You walk barefoot across the cold floor, just to pee. A tiny amount. Barely anything at all. And the next morning, you wake up feeling like you never really slept. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And here's the surprising part. The cause isn't always aging. Sometimes, it's something as simple as a slice of orange or a sweet glass of juice you had after dinner. Many people over 60 think waking up at night is just part of getting older. But the truth is, as we age, our bladder becomes more sensitive. A little acid from citrus, oranges, lemons, pineapple, or even raw tomatoes can make your urine more irritating. And let's be honest, the bladder doesn't like to be disturbed. I remember Eileen. She's 69. She used to drink a glass of orange juice every night because she thought it would help her sleep. But then she started waking up 3 times a night. When we simply swapped her juice for a banana at 6 p.m., just a few days later, she slept through the entire night, for the first time in months. You see, deep sleep doesn't always come from medication. Sometimes it comes from understanding your own body and making one small change at the right time. And that's exactly what I want to invite you to explore in today's video. Stay with me till the end, because I'll be sharing 5 fruits that can gently calm your bladder and help you sleep better, and 5 fruits to avoid after late afternoon if you don't want to be waking up all night. If you've ever lost sleep over something that seemed small, just try a tiny change and see what happens. You deserve restful sleep, not because you're younger, but because you're finally listening to your body with kindness. If this video helps you understand yourself better, please tap like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's also longing for a peaceful night. Together we can take small steps to live better, lighter, one day at a time. So now you know, a fruit eaten at the wrong time can quietly steal your sleep. But the right fruit at the right hour can become a gentle lullaby for your bladder, helping you sleep soundly, deeply, and wake up feeling as light as morning air. So, which fruits are your best allies for a good night's rest in your golden years? Let's go through them, one by one, as if we're choosing a meal for someone we truly care about. You. 1. Banana, the fruit of gentleness. You know, sometimes strength doesn't come from something big or dramatic. Sometimes, it comes from something simple, something gentle, like a banana. Bananas are everywhere, in every kitchen, every grocery store. But few people realize that this humble fruit can be a real friend to your bladder, especially after 60. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive. The bladder, in particular, can get irritated by acidic foods. But bananas? They're different. They're high in potassium, which helps relax smooth muscles, including the bladder. They don't make your urine acidic. They don't stir up trouble when what you need is rest. I remember a patient, Mr. David, 72, living alone in Oregon. Every night, he used to have strawberries and yogurt for his evening snack. Sounds healthy, right? But strawberries are slightly acidic. He kept waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., not knowing why. I gently suggested he try swapping that snack for a ripe banana, room temperature, not too soft, around 6 p.m. He gave it a try for a week. On the 8th day, he called me, and he sounded like a kid who just got a gift. Doc, for the first time in months, I slept straight from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., not a single bathroom trip. That's when I smiled and told him, the solution isn't always complicated. It's just about the right fit. So, if nighttime urination is disturbing your sleep, try switching your evening snack to a ripe banana. Not cold, not overripe, and ideally, before 7 p.m., you might not need sleeping pills. You might just need to listen to your body and choose gentleness. Don't leave the video just yet. Up next, I'll share the second fruit that could help you sleep soundly through the night. 2. Papaya, a gift to the bladder and the belly. You might not see papaya on trendy superfood lists. It's not flashy, not hyped, not branded as the next miracle cure. But for those of us entering our 60s and beyond, papaya is pure relief. This soft orange fruit contains a natural enzyme called papain, great for digestion. And here's the key. When your digestive system flows smoothly, no bloating, no gas, your bladder doesn't get pressed or disturbed in the night. Many people think nighttime urination is caused by drinking too much water. But the truth is, a bloated belly, trapped gas, or sluggish digestion can put pressure on the bladder, waking you up to pee, even if your bladder isn't full. I remember Mrs. Carla, 68, from Colorado. She told me she often felt heavy after dinner, even when she didn't eat much. And almost every night she was waking up 2 or 3 times with the sudden urge to go. We made one small change. Instead of her usual sweet dessert, she had a soft slice of ripe papaya, around 150 ghee, at 7 p.m. After just a few days, she called to say, "I don't feel that urgent pressure in the middle of the night anymore. That lightness, doctor, it's priceless." Sounds simple, right? But often the simplest things bring the deepest relief. Not everything needs to be exotic or expensive to be effective. Sometimes, just a soft slice of papaya, at the right time, can help you sleep through the night. So if you tend to feel bloated in the evening, or if your bladder seems restless for no reason, try papaya instead of a sugary dessert, at least 2 hours before bedtime. One small shift could bring you one peaceful night, and you deserve that. Coming up next, I'll share another soft, soothing fruit that calms both the belly and the bladder. Stay with me. Your sleep might just depend on it. 3. Pear. The quiet key to a peaceful night. Pears aren't flashy like watermelon. They're not fragrant like a ripe mango. And you don't see them topping any trendy superfood lists. But maybe that's exactly what makes the pear so special. Especially for those of us seeking gentle sleep. As we pass 60, our bodies start reacting more sensitively to just about everything, from what we eat to when we eat it. And in this stage of life, what's soft, what's calm, becomes more valuable than ever. Pears contain sorbitol, a natural sugar with a mild, natural laxative effect. It's not harsh like medication, and it doesn't disrupt your system the way diuretic fruits can. Instead, it simply helps your gut move, quietly, smoothly. You might wonder, what does that have to do with sleep? The answer? Quite a lot. When your digestive system is backed up, whether it's gas, bloating, or constipation, that pressure builds in the lower abdomen, where your bladder sits. And sometimes that pressure tricks your brain into thinking you need to pee, even when your bladder isn't really full. I once met an older woman in Minnesota, a simple soul who loved gardening and her old radio. She told me something I'll never forget. "When my belly's calm, I sleep like a baby." And she was right. All it took was adding 1 pear to her afternoon routine, eaten slowly with the peel on, to feel that difference. Her bladder felt less pressed, and her nights were no longer interrupted. So if you're waking up at night and don't quite know why, take a closer look at your afternoon meal. And if you feel like your body needs something gentle yet effective, try a pear, unpeeled, slowly enjoyed, around 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. You don't have to change the whole world. Sometimes, all it takes is helping your body feel a little more at peace each day. And if that brings you a full night's sleep, well, that's a gift worth trying for. Don't go just yet. The next fruit may surprise you. 4. Watermelon. A morning friend, a nighttime troublemaker. Are you surprised to see watermelon in a video about sleep? It's sweet, hydrating, refreshing. Seems harmless, right? Well, watermelon itself isn't the enemy. The problem is the timing. After 60, our bodies process fluids more slowly. By evening, our kidneys begin to slow down too. So if you eat watermelon after 3 p.m., you're basically inviting a wave of water into your system just as your kidneys are winding down. The result? Your bladder pulls the night shift, and you lose sleep just to get up and pee, often just a small amount. But If you eat watermelon in the morning or before 2 p.m., your body has time to process the fluids, filter gently, and stay in balance. And here's the bonus. Watermelon contains lycopene, a natural anti-inflammatory that supports urinary tract health, eases bladder irritation, and even helps the prostate in men. I remember an older gentleman once told me with a warm smile, "I love watermelon, but I love sleep more." So now, he still enjoys it, just earlier in the day. And slowly, those restless nights started to fade away. So if you're a watermelon lover, keep loving it. Just shift when you eat it. Before 2 p.m. is best. Avoid eating it cold and don't mix it with milk. A small bowl, 150 to 200 degrees, is enough to get the benefits without overloading your system. Because sometimes it's not what we eat, but when we eat it, that determines whether our night is peaceful or disturbed. Let fruit be your friend in sleep, not the one who wakes you at 3 a.m. And in the next part, I'll tell you about one more familiar fruit that can soothe your bladder in the most surprising way. Stay with me. The best is yet to come. 5. Guava. Vitamin C without the burn. Guava might be a fruit you've known since childhood, but did you know it could be your quiet little ally for better sleep after 60? Guava is packed with vitamin C. In fact, it contains even more than oranges. What's special, though, is that guava doesn't come with the sharp acidity that oranges, lemons, or pineapples do. That makes it a much gentler choice, especially for older adults, whose urinary tract lining becomes more delicate and sensitive to acidic environments over time. A medium-ripe guava, eaten around 4 p.m., and without chili salt and not paired with milk, can help reduce burning sensations or discomfort in the urinary tract. And most importantly, help prevent those small, annoying urges to pee that wake you up in the middle of the night. I once spoke to a retired school teacher from San Diego. She told me, "I usually have a snack in the afternoon, sometimes cookies, sometimes cashews, but I always felt a bit bloated. And even though I didn't drink much water, I kept waking up at night." She tried swapping her usual snack for a ripe guava. After just a few days, she noticed a change. Her body felt lighter. No more bloating. No more bladder tapping her awake at 2 a.m. "Guava made me feel good without making me too full," she said. "And I never thought one fruit could help me sleep all the way until morning." So, if you're looking for an afternoon fruit that's good for your immune system and kind to your bladder, give guava a try. Ripe, with the flesh and skin if your teeth are strong, but skip the salt, skip the dairy, and eat it at least 2 hours before dinner, so your body has time to gently absorb it. You see, it's not always about fancy superfoods or expensive supplements. Sometimes it's about a fruit you've always known, eaten the right way, at the right time, that brings the peace you've been searching for. In the next part, I'll share with you 5 fruits to avoid after late afternoon, especially if you want a full night of uninterrupted sleep. So please, stick with the video. We're just getting to the eye-openers. You see, there's nothing complicated here. No pricey pills, no complex routines, just the wisdom of knowing what to eat and when to eat it. Because sometimes, a peaceful night doesn't start with your bed. It starts with the fruit you choose to put on your plate. In the next part of the video, I'll walk you through 5 fruits that seem harmless but may be sabotaging your sleep, simply because you're eating them after sunset. So don't leave just yet. And if this part of the video has been helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone you care about, who's longing for a quiet, restful night. You don't need to sleep longer. You just need to sleep deeper. We've always been told that fruit is good for our health, and that's absolutely true. But after the age of 60, when your body becomes more refined, more sensitive, not every fruit is a perfect match, and just as importantly, not every time of day is the right time to eat it. Tonight, I want to take a closer look with you at 5 familiar fruits, ones you might be eating every day. That, if eaten after 5 p.m., could be the reason you're waking up at night. Because of an irritated bladder, a bloated stomach, or that vague discomfort you can't quite explain. 1. Oranges and sweet lemons. I know many people, especially older adults, enjoy ending dinner with a glass of orange or sweet lemon juice. It's cool, refreshing, and gives that clean feeling in the digestive tract. But what most people don't realize is, these fruits are very high in citric acid. For younger folks, that's usually not a big deal. But after 60, when your bladder lining becomes more sensitive, that acidity can cause problems. Citric acid in orange juice can acidify your urine, which leads to bladder irritation. And even if your bladder isn't full, it might send signals like it is. Suddenly, you're up at 2 or 3 a.m. for what ends up being just a few drops. I remember one of my patients, Mr. Malik from Houston. He used to drink orange juice every night after dinner. I thought it was a healthy habit, he told me. But when he switched to a cup of warm water instead, within just 3 days, he went from waking up 3 times a night to only once. So if you're looking to sleep better, try skipping the orange juice after 5 p.m. and reach for a soothing cup of warm water instead. One small change, and it might give you a whole night of deep, peaceful sleep. 2. Pineapple. Pineapple is a beautiful tropical fruit, naturally sweet with a touch of tartness and full of enzymes that aid digestion. But here's what many people don't know. It contains an enzyme called bromelain, which can stimulate your intestines to move faster, especially if you eat it at night, when your body is trying to slow down and get ready for rest. That extra movement in your gut can put pressure on your bladder, tricking your brain into thinking you need to pee, even when your bladder is barely holding anything. It's a false alarm, caused by an overactive digestive system. I remember a lovely patient, Mrs. Lucille, 70 years old, who told me, "I just love a few slices of pineapple after dinner. I thought it helped me digest better." But every night, like clockwork, she was waking up 2-3 times to go to the bathroom. We tried something simple, swapping the pineapple for a ripe slice of papaya or pear, softer fruits that don't overstimulate the gut. And within just a few nights, Mrs. Lucille was sleeping through the night again. So if you've been eating pineapple in the evening, consider trying something gentler. Just one small change, but it could help you hold on to the restful sleep your body truly needs. 3. Grapes. Grapes are such a popular snack. Small, easy to eat, refreshing, and they seem perfect for a light evening treat. But here's something not many people realize. Grapes ferment easily in your stomach, especially if you eat them in the evening, when your belly is already full from dinner. That fermentation process produces gas, which leads to bloating and pressure in the abdomen. And that pressure, it pushes down on your bladder, sending false signals to your brain, making you think you need to pee. So, you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., walk to the bathroom, only to realize it's just a little. I once spoke to an elderly gentleman in Sacramento who told me, "Every time I eat grapes after dinner, I always have to get up at night to pee." But we didn't remove grapes from his diet. We simply moved them to earlier in the day, like in the morning or before lunch. And just like that, the bloating went away, his bladder calmed down, and his sleep stayed uninterrupted. 4. Mixed fruit juices. Now this one sounds healthy, right? A fresh juice made from oranges, lemons, maybe even kiwi or pineapple. Fresh, cool, clean. But if you're drinking this kind of juice in the evening, especially after dinner, you might want to be careful. Why? Because mixed fruit juices often contain high levels of citric acid, and they get absorbed very quickly, much faster than whole fruits, since there's no fiber to slow things down. What does that mean for your body? It means your urine becomes more acidic in a short time, and that can seriously irritate your bladder, especially as we age. Many people wake up in the middle of the night wondering, "Why do I need to pee again? I didn't even drink that much water." And they never suspect the real reason might be that healthy glass of juice from earlier. A friend of mine once said, "I thought juice was lighter than eating fruit. Turns out it actually made my sleep worse." So if you love juice, try having it in the morning or early afternoon when your digestion is at its peak. And in the evening, give your bladder a break. Choose something gentler. Because sometimes, deep sleep comes not from what you eat, but from what you skip. 5. Raw tomatoes. Do you often enjoy tomato salad in the evening? A few slices of juicy red tomato paired with onion and herbs. It feels refreshing, tasty, and light on the stomach. But surprisingly, it might be one of the hidden reasons you're not sleeping well. Raw tomatoes contain a compound called oxalic acid. So what does that mean for the body, especially for people over 60? Oxalic acid can increase the formation of tiny crystals in your urine. For younger people with strong, resilient bladders, that's usually not a big deal. But after 60, the bladder lining becomes more fragile and sensitive. When urine becomes too acidic or contains too many microscopic crystals, it can irritate the bladder, triggering a false signal to the brain that says, "Time to pee." So you wake up in the middle of the night, even though your bladder isn't actually full. I remember an elderly couple in Phoenix who once told me, "Every time we eat raw tomato salad, we end up waking up 2 or 3 times during the night. We thought it was just old age. But once we switched to steamed veggies or boiled carrots, we started sleeping straight through till morning." So the problem isn't tomatoes, it's how and when you eat them. If you love tomatoes, you don't have to give them up. Just cook them. Toss them into soups, stir-fries, or stews. Cooking significantly reduces the oxalic acid content and makes tomatoes gentler on the urinary tract. Because sometimes, you don't need to give up the food you love. Just eat it in a way your body can truly handle. And a good night's sleep might come from a dinner that's less acidic than you think. So what should you do? This doesn't mean you have to completely cut out citrus, pineapple, or raw tomatoes, but try to eat them earlier in the day, morning or early afternoon, when your body is more active and better equipped to digest, process acids, and manage fluids. After 5 p.m., choose gentler fruits like bananas, pears, and papaya, the kinds that won't irritate your bladder and will help your digestion slow down as it prepares for rest. Try this for just 3 days. No citrus, no pineapple, no raw tomatoes after 5 p.m. You might be surprised at how much better you sleep, how few times you wake to pee, and how much lighter your mornings feel. We all know fruit is healthy, but what most people don't tell you is this. When you eat fruit is just as important as which fruit you eat. Especially after 60, when your digestion and bladder become more sensitive, timing your fruit intake could be the key to peaceful sleep, or another restless night. Fruits that are high in water or acid, like oranges, lemons, grapes, and watermelon, should be eaten before 5 p.m. Why? Because after that time, your kidneys and bladder naturally begin to slow down. And if you take in a large amount of water or acid too late in the day, your body won't have enough time to process it before bedtime. The result? You're more likely to wake up during the night, either from a sudden urge to urinate or from a mild irritation in your urinary tract. On the other hand, gentler, low-acid fruits, like bananas, pears, or papaya, can be safely enjoyed in the evening, ideally at least 2 hours before bed. This gives your body time to digest, absorb, and wind down before slipping into rest mode. And here's one important thing many people overlook. Don't eat fruit right after dinner, especially if your meal included salty or high-protein foods. Combining fruit with savory dishes can cause fermentation in the stomach, leading to bloating, indigestion, or even reflux. And of course, a restless night. If you love fruit, don't give it up. Just choose the right kind at the right time. Your body will feel lighter, your stomach calmer, and your bladder a whole lot quieter. Sometimes it's not a sleeping pill or a long afternoon nap that helps you rest. It's simply skipping that extra piece of fruit after dinner, and that alone can give you an uninterrupted night's sleep. It sounds so small, doesn't it? But after 60, it's the small things that matter most. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You don't need a new diet plan or a drawer full of pills. Just one gentle adjustment. Choose the right fruit and eat it at the right time. Maybe you're used to having a glass of orange juice after dinner, or a few chilled grapes while watching TV. But if those habits are quietly stealing your precious sleep, why not try changing things? For just 3 days, eat fruit before 5 p.m. If you need an evening snack, go for gentle fruits like bananas, pears, or papaya, and avoid eating fruit right after a salty or heavy meal. You'll start to notice your body responding, feeling lighter, calmer, and who knows, maybe you'll finally get your first full night of sleep in months. If you've ever struggled with sleepless nights and didn't know why, feel free to share your story in the comments, or simply write one word: hope. Just so I know you're here, and you still believe that, no matter how late it feels, a peaceful night is possible. And if this video brought you a little understanding, comfort, or even just a smile, please hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and share this video with someone you care about. Someone who might also be quietly hoping for a full night's sleep. See you in the next video. Wishing you a peaceful night and a morning full of energy.